Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Victoria, aka Milkfist Cozy Corner, and in this video I'm mostly going to be showing and talking to you guys about Glow of the Everflame. In my last video I had read and finished Spark of the Everflame, so this time it is book 2, which is Glow of the Everflame. I also take you guys with me wherever we go as I am reading Glow of the Everflame. So I hope you'll join me in today's video. Grab a cup of your favorite drink or whatever it is you want to snack on, and I hope you cozy up and enjoy today's video. You've got book mail today. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Can you guess? We've got Riftborn and Duskbound. I have been waiting for these to arrive because I have The Ascended right here. And I've been meaning to read this for the longest time. However, as I was doing a bit of research, they said, while you can actually read this is what I'm confused about. They said that this is a standalone, but apparently it's connected to this and this. So this being the first, Riftborn, and then Duskbound, and then The Ascended. And so they really say that read these two first because you're gonna really appreciate the story more once you get to this one. So I'm like, really? But I love a good story. I might actually end up feeling that way anyway, where, you know that feeling when you're reading a book and you're like, it seems like there could be a prequel to it. And I'm gonna wanna stop and read that first or something like that. So I'm gonna be tackling these two first before I head over to The Ascended. But I'm so glad that these two have finally arrived. I do have these actually in my Kobo. However, I have no idea what spell I'm under right now. But I've really just been wanting to read physical books. Literally. It's gotten to the point that I'm even thinking, I literally brought up the idea to my husband, what if we take the advanced readers copies that I've been given, the e-arcs, and turn it into a physical book so that I could read those? So, I don't know. I just might. I don't know what's going on, but I really want to read physical books. I have been reading so much physical books lately. And with these now in the lineup, for me to be able to continuously read, it's going to be quite a time for me. So now we have Riftborn, Duskbound, and The Ascended. I can't wait to ascend my life to these three. Because I've been waiting for these to arrive, I already secured spacing for them. Here they are, Riftborn, Duskbound, and The Ascended. I'm currently still reading Glow of the Everflame. I am about 230 pages something in out of 600 something. So I'm really loving the story so far. But this DM, she grinds my nerves a lot. But I stay for Luther. Oh, Luther. So we're gonna continue plowing through the story until we're over with it. We are going to forest camp. We need to take a dip in their nice pool because it's been so hot. Look. That's how hot it is. Today there's at least that cloud. Most days there's no clouds and just pure blue sky. So for today, forest camp it is. To feel a little bit cool down from the heat we've been facing lately. It's really been hot. The kids are excited. It's so bright, but the clouds are pretty thick, hovering over the mountain.
Oh my goodness! The clouds! It looks like a whole island! Yeah, it looks like...
We had to stop because an alarm tipped off in the car. So Pao is checking the condition of the car right now. The hood is up. Yeah, it will depend if the car is going to be okay.
Oil's fine, but wala naman. Siga ang yang research yun siya pasabot na.
The issue is that the warning light turned on and then for some reason the accelerator just kind of stopped working. You think it's just electronic? Like it's just the...
I don't think it's electronics, okay. Ni kuan jud I felt it jud pag while nawa ang kusog sa engine while stepping on the accelerator.
So we're back home because we didn't want to risk possibly getting stranded if we pushed the car to keep going. So we took our time to drive back. And now we're home. I really wanted to swim. Well, since we're home and we have time, I'm going to continue reading Glow of the Everflame. But before that, let's make some coffee. We got something today. Let me show you what it is. The Nintendo Switch 2! It comes with the Mario Kart World, and we also got Animal Crossing. Let's try out the Animal Crossing game. How do we even open this one? Oh, okay. So I guess that's how you open the card slot. And you insert. Oh, that was very quick. Looks like we gotta download. Oh, look at that. Hi, Tommy and Timmy. Do I want to be lighter? No, no, no. Perhaps, or this shade. That looks a little odd. Maybe something darker? Yes, I think, wait, retake. Ah, okay, so at the top is where we can do other things. So like hair. What hair should we go for? Do I want to mimic myself like in real life? Or, but is this it? Let's do something a little bit more drastic than the usual. I've always wanted to have this kind of platinum white hair, so let's go with that. Maybe, is that it? I guess that's it. That's the only options I have for now. So I guess I'll go with that. Eyes. I'd like to green eyes. Give myself a little bit of some shadows. Oh, that's pretty. That's cute. Or we go for something like this. Nice, big open eyes. Cute. Very anime. I love that. But perhaps we'll go with this. Nose. Okay, I think I like this. It looks cute. And this one, kind of cattish. Cheeks. What's this? So this is nothing. That's with. I'm not really the type to put blush on. Do I need? I mean, it's a character. Perhaps. Is that all? I guess so. Okay. Cute. It is Sunday.
Hello.
And this time we're headed, and hopefully this time we can make it all the way to Forest Camp. We got the car fixed, partially, because it still needs to go back in the shop tomorrow for the rest. But it's good enough for us to drive. So, fingers crossed we make it to Forest Camp this time. Today's a Sunday, so there is a lot of people. When we arrived, there were so many people, but gladly it seems people are starting to go away, go home. I am just sitting here because I don't really want to swim, seeing that there's this many people. Yeah, I ordered food, so I'm just gonna wait for that. And while waiting, I'm gonna continue reading Glow of the Everflame. So, thank God I brought this because I was planning on actually not bringing this. But at the very last minute, I decided to keep it in my bag. I'm currently at chapter 34, about 435 pages out of 600. It's getting, I don't want to give some spoilers, but it's really getting suspenseful right now. We're leading up, it's like days leading up to the challenging, you know, you know. And our female main character here and male main character are kind of a little distraught. Henry, I do not like that guy. But Luther, my heart breaks for Luther. And DM is annoying. Let's continue on. After reading so many different types of books that have like political dynasties in them, I really can confirm I truly fucking hate all political dynasties, whether it's in real life or whether it's in books. There is always a common theme. They are overbearing, they are arrogant, they think that they have all the power in the world to do whatever the fuck they want, thinking there will be no repercussions. And more and the thing that irks me the most is how they think that they can sign off the life of their own families, aka their children, to whatever they want. You know, kids, you know, children have their own personalities and are their own persons too, right? Quick rant, because I'm currently reading something similar to that right now here. The good thing about books is typically they get overturned and they end the political dynasties. I wish real life was. I wish we had main characters in life too. I just finished Glow of the Everflame and ah, I felt everything. If you have not read this, the first book is actually Spark of the Everflame. So let me give you a little bit of something between both. So, Spark of the Everflame follows the story of DM, who is a healer and immortal. At least she thinks she is. They are in a world where mortals and descended are the two types of beings that exist. So the descended are people with powers. So they're live longer. They're not immortal, but they can live thousands of years long, while mortals are basically just mortals, you know, no powers, they die easily, and all these. And there's a separation between the descended and the mortals. However, how the descended actually got their powers was that there were these other beings that came to this world that fell in love with mortals. And these gods decided to give up their immortality so that they could live the remainder of their lives with the mortals that they love. Now, many, many years later, thousands of years later, those gods are gone and they've separated those with powers and those who don't. Basically, the descended immortals. And so, DM, the female main character, is introduced as a mortal in the story. However, she definitely has traits that look like a descended, but her parents really tell her that you are mortal. Spark of the Everflame, the reason why it's called also Everflame is because the mortals believe in the gods of the Everflame, while the descended believe in the gods of Luminous or the gods that came that provided them with power. And I kind of understand now after reading book 2 why this is called Spark and why this is called Glow. There is there is kind of a rebel group here called Guardians of the Everflame. And I feel like Spark of the Everflame is where that group, the Guardians of the Everflame, kind of spark. I forgot to mention there was a war that actually happened which caused basically the rift. That's why there's now the Descendant and the Mortals. And the Mortals are trying to fight back against it. So the Guardians of the Everflame is that group that is the rebel group to try and fight against the Descended or try to bring them down. And DM, again, the female main character, finds out about this group, especially after her mother goes missing. And so, as a healer, she's been taught all her life that she needs to heal, that fighting is not something that she will ever be for, but she is torn because of how the Descendant treats the mortals and how she heals a lot of these people that are caused by the Descendants and all that. Her character is pretty strong because she grew up, her father being kind of the um, head guard. I forgot his exact title, but basically he's the head of like their military in this world. And ever since she was born, he raised her to be a good fighter, both in brains and brawns, how to strategize and all that. So again, there's this conflicting personality trait of hers where she knows how to fight, she knows how to defend, but she was already kind of groomed to be a healer, and she's not supposed to be fighting and causing more of these people that she has to heal. But then after discovering the guardians of the Everflame and then her mom going missing, she decides that she wants to take up a healer spot in the Descendant Palace because the king of the Descendants currently in Luminous is actually ill. And her mother was the one who was tending to the king. And with the absence of her mother, she wanted to kind of take the place of her mom. Her mom, though, has been absolutely telling her, no, you're not allowed to deal with any of the Descendants. You're not allowed to go to the palace. You're not allowed to do anything. But of course, with her rebellious face and character, she does. And that's where she meets Luther, who is my most favorite person in this book ever. And Luther is a descendant, and he's the prince with the descendants. And because the king is kind of dying, when a king or the queen dies, Lumnus, their god, decides who the next king or queen will be. And it's typically the person who is the strongest, the one with the strongest power. And it is Lumnus, the god, who decides who that is. And just, oh my god, everything that transpires after the king dies is really what just made this whoa. And the relationship between Luther and DM. Although DM is immortal and she hates the Descendant as well because of everything she was taught and everything she knows so far of the Descendant, there was an instance where she actually had the option to save a number of descendants, and she chose to do that. Her being a healer, she, even though she knew these are descendants, she still went for it. She sacrificed her life. She risked her life. No, she didn't sacrifice. She risked her life to save these descendants who supposedly don't deserve to be saved or to be healed. So a lot really went down. And Luther, the prince, for some reason, is always watching and looming over her, which is very odd if you don't know what's going on. But all I can say is that I had to remind myself that Prince Luther was written by a female author. Because Pencol, this man, we need a. I wish there were real Prince Luthers in life. They probably are. Super rare. And I'm going to bet that if there was any Prince Luther that existed in this realm, it's because the mother would have raised that man right. Or the father loved his wife so much that raised him in a very well setting. Or, both parents were just that awesome. Prince Luther is the kind of character that you're introduced as like broody, kind of very strong, intimidating, someone you don't want to get near with. However, it's also the type of character where if he is a man who has chosen a woman, he's going to be sticking by you, he's going to be watching over you, he'll keep his promises and will do whatever he can and whatever it takes for his woman. So, the story of Spark of the Everflame is the Guardians rising, the Guardians of the Everflame, DM understanding who she is more, taking up the healer status in the palace, and then everything formulating from them. The king dies, and the next crown has been chosen. Now, in Glow of the Everflame, geez, so if you haven't read this, please just skip to the next parts of my video because I'm going to be giving spoilers from here now. So if you haven't, I really try. I tried as much as possible not to say so much, but I can't help anymore when I'm going into this. So if you don't like spoilers, go ahead and skip past. But Glow of the Everflame. So DM is the next crowned queen. Something she didn't want at all. And Luther, my God, Luther. Luther has been waiting for this day to arrive where he kind of felt it in his bones from his very first meeting with DM that she would be it. She would be the queen, that there's this inkling feeling that he felt that she's her. And when the king finally dies, the crown just magically appears in her head. Because again, nobody but the gods themselves decide. And when they decide, the crown just instantly moves to you. She denies everything at first, but she cannot ignore the fact that there is a crown looming over her head. And again, if you are crowned the king or queen, you are the most powerful descendant. And her being a mortal, not knowing that she was even a descendant or came from one, is utterly shocked and surprised because everybody thought it would be Luther. Luther is going to be the next king, that if King Ulthar dies, it's going to go to him. But it goes to her. And Glow of the Everflame is where, again, the Guardians, the spark of the rebellion happens. The glow just kind of glows it even more. Like it really shines a light of what the Guardians of the Everflame want to do. However, DM is torn with now being the crown of the descendants of Luminous, but her heart and her livelihood being a mortal, she does not want to be the queen. She does not want to have to do anything with a descendant. However, she realizes that maybe this is a chance for the mortals to have a better life, because if she becomes queen, she could have real influence with the power bestowed upon her. However, it's not as straightforward as it looks to, because apparently, even if you have the crown, the descendants have decided that part of this ritual for the next person being the crown is that you have to go through a challenge. The challenging is what they call it. It's kind of a trial that they give every other house of the descendant, because there are different houses of the descendants. A possibility to challenge the queen, the newly crowned queen. So she's not yet coronated, and she won't be until she either defeats everybody in the challenging, or if nobody decides to challenge her, then they all agree, and then she will be the queen, officially to be coronated. So remember, I mentioned that her mom goes missing. It is told here, but not until the end. But oh my God, the way that the plots just presented and interconnected itself. I have no words. But I do have words for Luther. Luther, my dear boy, my dear man, not boy. What he had to go through for DM, and how annoying DM is, the way that she denies what she is, what she has to go through, and her feelings. A man deep in his commitment and his love and his loyalty to serve the crown and DM as the woman he has chosen in his heart. And DM just not replicating that. Oh my. But his unwavering love, loyalty, commitment. And I understand, it's so cliched, a man who does all that, but you have not understood what true loyalty and commitment and love is unless you have read and known Luther Corboys, even in the challenging. So, if you love a man who will stick by you no matter what life throws at him, and his relentlessness to do whatever it takes, that this man means it. Other than the fact that he's described as this really handsome, brooding, strong man, and apparently the most powerful of them all, outside of DM, I mean, what more could you want? And his heart of gold. Jeez. Again, written by a woman, written by a woman. But don't take my word for it. Read Spark and read Glow of the Everflame. Because if you love that story and you're anything like me, I already have Heat of the Everflame here, and I'm ready to continue and see if it's going to end in devastation, in tragedy, or what will the outcome be. And geez, seriously? Aurelie? DM's mom? They're both annoying. They truly are. But anyway, I hope there's redemption for both of them in Heat of the Everflame. Spark of the Everflame was 4 stars for me. Glow of the Everflame, okay, I think this is 5 stars. So I'm really going to hope and pray Heat of the Everflame is just as great, or if not more. I'm expecting a lot. I am expecting so much more here now after having finished Glow of the Everflame. I hope you enjoyed today's video with me yapping a lot about Glow of the Everflame and the places that we went to in this video. If you made it all the way here, thank you so much. It really means the world to me. And if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe as well if you enjoy these kinds of videos. And I hope to see you in the next video.